Hello and welcome to Reality TV Cringe. I am one of your hosts, Delia, and I'm here with my real tight homegirl and my daughter-in-law, the beautiful Beatrice.
That's me.
We are here to talk welcome to Plathville.
This shit is hot, hot, hot.
There's crazy stuff going on over there in Cairo, Beatrice.
I love it.
And I want to get into it. But before we do, I got to issue you a disclaimer. Please hide your wife and hide your kids. This is a politically incorrect podcast, which simply means that we're stupid.
Objectively.
We're dumb.
Yeah.
We're hot.
So hot.
And we're not going to apologize about it.
No.
So if you're sensitive,
Go away.
you might want to find yourself another dumpster.
Bye.
But if you're ready to be in the first row to witness some unhinged Veronica behavior, well then, welcome to this dumpster.
And if you like what we do over here, please be sure to follow us on the Instagram at Reality TV Cringe and join us on Patreon already. Patreon.com/realitytvcringe. It's lit over there in the VIP dumpster. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, lots of content. And if you're looking for a good time, we're your girls.
Yeah.
Now, if you are watching on YouTube, first and foremost, please don't forget to like and comment and share and subscribe as we continue to climb the mountain to 6,000 subscribers. And also, I kind of just want to start by taking your temperature, YouTube, in the comments, okay? Because I want to just take a poll to see who's Team Veronica.
Oh my God.
And who's team anybody but Veronica? So that could be Micah. That could be Barry. That could be us. But like, if you are team Veronica, like you get it, you understand what she's talking about, you understand why she's angry, then just drop a hashtag Team Veronica in the comments.
Yeah, I'd love to know.
But if you are anti-Veronica, and
Like
if you think
us.
that this shit is bananas, BANANAS, then what you want to do is just hashtag anti-Veronica. Anti-Veronica. I just want to know. Or no hashtag. I just want to know what y'all are thinking, because is it just me? Or is this chick wilding out?
Dude, she is insane.
Is she losing her mind?
She is losing her mind.
Like YouTube, you got just let me know what you're thinking. Are you team Veronica or are you team anti-Veronica? I gotta know.
I hope those of you that were riding so hard for Veronica at the beginning are feeling so dumb right now.
You are such an I told you so bitch.
I am! I fucking told... It's my Virgo rising. I
It
told
is.
you so, bitch.
Yeah, like, ooh.
God.
Such a bad look for Veronica. So before we get into the episode, I do want to get like your major takeaway from this most recent episode of Welcome to Plathville, Beatrice.
I'm just tired of these women coming in and telling these Plaths that they are unintelligent and emotionally immature and stupid. Like, I get it. Like Ethan, for example, total emotional, immature caveman.
Potato.
He is so underdeveloped.
Yeah.
Needs to be cooked up a little bit more because he's ridiculous. I get it. But like, I don't know where all these people come from that are like, you know, big city, just want to tell these kids, like, you're all dumb. You were raised poorly. Like, I just don't like it. Like, we can hate the Plaths, but we don't need to be so mean and condescending to them just because of how they grew up.
Yeah.
I just don't appreciate Veronica telling Micah that.
Yeah. And so my takeaway is very similar. I think like we're all talking about Veronica,
Yes.
but like my takeaway is that I think we've tipped over from Veronica has got some issues. Veronica was maybe bullied as a child and she
Yeah.
doesn't really know how to communicate that. We've tipped over from that into, Veronica's abusive.
Yeah.
Veronica is actively verbally abusing Micah and also Amber, if you ask me.
Definitely.
And in addition to that, Veronica has no aptitude for self-reflection because she knows how she talked to these people. She knows what she did last year in 2024 and how she showed her ass. And yet she had the audacity to spend, I don't know how many weeks or months on a campaign against all of them, calling out Micah, divulging information she shouldn't have, again showing her ass. Like she doesn't have the ability to see her behavior in any given moment, which is scary. It's frightening.
It's so toxic
to me, like the way she was just hulked over across from Micah, who was like literally shrinking away and trying to reason with this nightmare of a person. I was just like, I feared for him. I'm like, what else is happening in that household? Abuse doesn't just happen to women. Abuse happens to men too.
Facts,
and I'm just like, Veronica, you're scaring me. And I hate you.
That's it.
I hate you. I never liked you.
Nope.
I always had my eye on you.
You
I
clocked
was
her from
sus
day one.
from the beginning, but now I'm just like, I hate you. Like, you're
Yeah.
an evil, awful person to hurt somebody like that. Like, do you get off on that? What's wrong with you? And I'll stop right there. That was my takeaway.
I mean, based. I get it.
Okay, well then without further ado, let's get into the latest episode of Welcome to Plathville, Season 7, Episode 5, entitled
The Secret.
The Secret.
Which I think is about Veronica calling Olivia. I would think.
I guess, or else it's not Micah cheating because that was last week.
Yeah, we already talked about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I have no idea. But we start off wrapping up what happened last episode where Micah and Ethan were grilling Zach after the proposal. And we left off last week with Ethan asking Zach if he was gay. And now we have his answer.
Why are you gay?
Why
are you gay?
Iconic. So fucking funny. But literally, like, that's what Ethan is saying. And Zach just says, I think very kindly and respectfully, no, I'm straight as an arrow. And Ethan's like, are you bullshitting me though? Because you're different from every other man I've ever seen in my life. Which I'm just like, Ethan, you're such a fucking loser. You're so stupid. But Zach says, no, I'm not bullshitting you. Like, I'm definitely straight.
Yeah, and everything I'm doing, I'm actually doing to honor Lydia.
Sure.
And this is something that we talked about, and this is something that we prayed about, and this is our decision. And it's because I love your sister that we're not being intimate in any way. And you can feel however you want to feel about that, Beatrice.
No, sure, yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, I do think ultimately it's very respectful. And I thought Zach was extremely mature in his responses to both Micah and to Ethan, because Micah starts to do like a little damage control dance where he's like, well, there's nothing wrong with being gay. So like, if you're gay, that's okay, but just don't be gay and marry my sister. And it was all just so entirely cringeworthy. And I really felt for Zach, and I won't belabor it because we already talked about it last week, but I felt like Zach conducted himself very well. He did much better than I would have done in that situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I would have been throwing hands with those young men.
For sure.
He did very well.
Well, and I did think it was interesting that Micah said there's nothing wrong with gay people. And Ethan did echo that sentiment. He's like, there's nothing wrong with being gay. I just don't want you to marry my sister if you're gay. Which was kind of interesting.
Do you believe him?
I mean, kind of.
I don't.
But
I think
like,
he thinks there's something wrong with being gay.
I don't know. It's hard for me to get a gauge on it because, like, I know homophobic people. I've encountered homophobic people in my life as a homosexual, but I don't know. It just was interesting that he even said that, because if he had a problem with gay people, I feel like he would have just been out and proud about that. But I don't know. Who knows? I'm speculating. But I did appreciate Zach's response. I thought he was very respectful. And then I appreciated his talking head where he's like, you know, I can understand why they're asking this because they're being protective of their sister. And he's like, I know that I have a little bit more of a feminine air to me because I grew up with sisters. Like, I'm not like a stranger to this kind of...
That was an interesting comment, didn't you think?
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not a stranger to this kind of questioning, but like, I know who I am. I'm proud of who I am. And I'm like, you know what? Cool. And I'm sorry for judging you too as a fellow gay. Like, I'll just admit that.
Well, I just think we need more men who can acknowledge their feminine side or not be embarrassed about it.
Sure.
Or say like, yeah, I was raised by and with women and I'm proud of that and this is who I am.
Yep.
Valid.
Yeah, totally. So that's kind of how we wrap up that conversation. And Ethan does admit that he was kind of coming off a little harsh. He's grilling him. He still doesn't really like him.
And he tells him that.
He does.
Which is rude. You haven't earned my trust, or you haven't earned my liking you yet. I'm like, I don't care. That doesn't mean anything to the average person, Ethan. You're not the barometer of morality or good people.
Yeah, I think my problem with that is him acting like he is this authority of like, I know who's a good person and a bad person. Like, we're all at fault for something. Like, we're all, like, imperfect people is what I'm trying to say. Like, you're not this, like, really cool guy. You kind of turned into a bitter alcoholic and, like, a weird bigot guy. Like, you're not perfect. So I thought that was a little annoying. But we ended that conversation with Ethan telling him, you have to earn my respect. And Zach's like, okay, that's cool. I hope we have, like, some opportunity for that in the future.
Oh, I wish my sister-in-law would have told me I have to earn her respect. I'd been like, okay, well, I'm going to make it my life mission that you earn my disrespect. Like, who do you think you are telling me that I have to earn any of your respect? Like, Ethan.
Like, just shut up.
Shut up.
I know, you're not Lydia's dad either.
No.
It's, like, so weird for, like, an older brother to be acting like this. Like, I could see a father acting like this to be protective of his daughter.
Well, maybe in the absence of Barry doing anything like this, like the due diligence of a father to make sure that the person entering the home or into the family is, like, of good quality or is going to be good for Lydia. Like, Barry just seems so excited and gleeful that Lydia found
so
somebody
annoying.
and is going to have babies.
Yeah.
So maybe Ethan sees that and Micah sees that and they're like, okay, let me step into that void.
Yep.
And fulfill that role, but he's just not doing a good job of that.
Well, because they're immature, young 20-somethings that shouldn't be the parent role in this. They should just be the goofy older brother that's maybe giving him a little shit, but is trying to be happy for their sister, you know, instead of they're coming off very harsh, very mean. But then Micah does invite Zach down to Boca. He's like, you know, you can come down with me and Veronica because I want to see you actually work hard. And the subtext of that is, I want to see you act like a man. That's what I think it is.
Kind of, yeah.
Because they want him to prove his masculinity, which is kind of annoying and...
It's very annoying.
It's not necessary.
It's inappropriate.
And it's like...
And who are you, Micah? Yeah. Asking somebody to prove their masculinity. That's kind of rich, Micah.
When you went to LA to be a model.
And you talked about your own fluidity and it's...
Right.
Been on the internet and people have been talking about your sexuality inappropriately, including us. But, like, you're no stranger to how that must feel, but yet you have no problem doing it to Zach.
Yeah, and so blatantly. And it's like what Kim said, I think it was last episode, where she's like, you know, what if this is the kind of man that Lydia wants? Like, maybe she wants a man that's a little bit softer, has a little bit more of a feminine side to it, but, like, in a healthy way, and wants to coach tennis and own a coffee shop. Like, maybe that's what Lydia wants, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that's where we kind of have to leave it there. And then we bop on over to Lydia and her banging bod.
Yeah.
Feeding the horses.
I can't get over it.
It's like...
And I know, like, I'm in my 50s and I've had my season of life where I was, you know, traipsing about with my body, yaddy, yaddy. But, like, I just am like, girl, Lydia, do you even know? Like, when I was that age... rocking what I was rocking, I had no idea. First of all, I was married to, like, everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea what I was working with until now at this late stage. I can look back and go, oh my gosh, well, I was foxy.
Yeah.
You know, like, Lydia, do you even know
my God,
how gorgeous you are? But, like, Lydia isn't the sum of her body and, like, how pretty she is. Like, she's much more than that, but irrespective.
I'm just like, I just noticed
those jeans. I'm sure you did, you lesbian.
No.
I'm sure you noticed it. You love a blonde too.
I do.
You do.
But I'm looking at her, I'm like, damn. But she's feeding horses, and this is her response to the whole conversation, because after Zach left with Ethan and Micah, he immediately told Lydia what happened. And Lydia says that she's not mad at her brothers for asking Zach if he was gay. She's just disappointed. And she does make a very interesting comment towards Ethan where she says, Ethan waited to have sex until after marriage, and I didn't think he was gay for that. So I don't understand why he thought Zach was gay for this. And I'm like, well, it's not just the sex. It was him restricting any physical intimacy. But at the same time, Lydia does say that it's weird how we're in this day and age where a man wanting to save himself for marriage and wanting to respect my purity is seen as weird and gay, when I see it as a very beautiful, respectful, like, divine thing that we share together, because he respects me so much that he doesn't want to take advantage of me. And I do think that that's the root of all of it. I do think Zach does cherish her. Maybe Zach looked at her and was like, man, this dime piece is into a dork like me. Like, I'm going to cherish her to the day I die.
I'm going to wife her up immediately.
Immediately. And I mean, I think Lydia went on Instagram recently and talked about the whole proposal. And I guess like after it, he washed her feet, which is something biblical.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the significance of it.
Well, Jesus washed the disciples' feet.
Mm.
And he also allowed, was it Mary or Mary Magdalene, to wash his feet, and she was crying with oil. Like, it's a very putting yourself at the feet of somebody, meaning I'm honoring you.
Like to serve?
And yes, to serve you, and you're in a place of importance where I am serving you. Yeah, it is a very biblical thing to do.
Yeah, so she talked about how the whole proposal and how it was so amazing. She did not talk about Ethan and Micah and Veronica's behavior at the proposal. She did say on Instagram she doesn't want to talk about it because that would be gossip, and she wants to have a conversation with them first before she says anything.
Okay.
So she only talks about like all the beauty and the goodness of the proposal and not their trash ass, immature, stupid behavior.
Right. And so sidebar a little bit, and I'm going to try and articulate this because I'm not really sure what I'm thinking, but there's a part of me that is wondering what Lydia's motivation here is, because I know she's sold out and radical for Jesus. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
I know you've picked somebody who shares those same values, but it's interesting to me that you were going to move to Colorado, but now you both are going to move to South Georgia, which is where the cameras are.
That was interesting.
Which is where the show is taking place for the most part. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, okay, but you don't want to talk about the things in the show, but it seems like maybe you really want to be a part of the show because you're going to relocate your man.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, okay, please don't play both sides of this in the long run is kind of what I'm getting at. Like, don't just profess to be this Christian who's not going to gossip, but then be on a show like this where your brothers are literally violent toward one another and you've got this crazy toxic behavior, and then you're not going to be upfront and truthful about it.
I know, like she posted a 4-part video series on Instagram talking about the whole proposal, and it was literally just all of the good things about it.
Yeah.
She's smiling and being very happy.
I couldn't watch. I was bored.
And it was very boring because it was just her talking about
comment
Zach.
after comment after comment. Well, but what did you think about your brothers? What did you think about Ethan? What did you think about the comment? And no response.
Yeah. And then people are theorizing because she said, I don't want to talk about my brothers without talking to them first. And people were like, so are you not talking to them?
So have you not addressed this behavior? Because I'm assuming that you know that Isaac almost killed Micah at your wedding. Like, have you not had conversations? What's going on?
Yeah, like, just be real. And if the Plaths start being like the sister wives, where they start giving us bullshit on the TV, I'm not watching it.
Yeah, so I'm not getting that from the rest of the Plaths. Even Amber, who's only 15 years old, seems to want to tell the truth.
She's so based.
And out people who are toxic.
Mm-hmm.
It might just be about Lydia and her Christianity and kind of wanting to stay in what I might frame as toxic positivity. Like, everything is great. Everything's blessed by Jesus. And so she just doesn't really know how to live in those shadowy aspects.
Right.
Unfortunately, because that's always going to come back to bite you in the ass, girl.
Definitely.
Always. Yeah.
Definitely, 100%. And then switching gears, we go down to Boca, where we have Ethan and Amber visiting Veronica and Micah. And this is where shit starts getting
weird.
Tense and weird. Because we start off with just Amber and Veronica, because like Ethan and Micah are out doing some project or whatever at their other house, and it's already kind of awkward with Veronica and Amber because Veronica starts talking mad shit like immediately about the family, about Barry, about Mariah, about how they all hate her and she feels unwelcomed, and that's just like what happened to Olivia. And Amber's like, can you like chill out a little bit? Like, why are you talking so much trash about my family? Like, I think you kind of over-exaggerate things a bit. I feel like you get stuck in your head and you're making things bigger than it needs to be. And this starts to piss Veronica off. And then Ethan and Micah arrive back from their project or whatever. And Veronica's making these like comments.
Passive-aggressive.
Towards Amber.
Yeah, because everybody's gaslighting me now about what your family has done to me and how they were unwelcome to me at the proposal. And I was trying to go back to last week And I didn't really get any of that from any of the family members. I thought that Veronica was hanging out with Ethan and Micah. She was instigating a lot of the drama. She was hanging out with Tegan and she was talking to people. It didn't seem like anybody was actively rejecting her. Like, I think what happened was Mariah came and neither of them, Veronica nor Mariah, said hi to each other. But Veronica is just as guilty as Mariah.
Mm-hmm.
And also when Barry came, I don't think he had any space for Veronica and her bullshit. And so there was no conversation between Barry and Veronica, which I guess in her troubled mind, in my opinion, equals that they were unwelcome to her and treated her like crap. And this is kind of what I think Micah's trying to get to, and also Ethan, when they're talking about like how it just keeps getting bigger.
Yes.
Like each
more complex
offense just begets two other offenses, like an offense hydra. And it's like a never ending victimization story for Veronica. Like, is there ever going to be a resolution to any of this? Like, are you ever going to be able to have a conversation, for example, with Mariah, where you're going to be able to get past this? And it honestly feels like she, on purpose, intentionally, will never get past it, just so that she can make Mariah feel as bad as possible and everybody else feel as bad as well.
Yes, because it's all about her. I'm like, what do you mean you felt unwelcome at Lydia's proposal? It's not about you. No one is there to say hi to you. They are there for Lydia to witness her engagement, and that's it. It's just like what Amber had said at the proposal about how Veronica changes into this little Forever 21 sequin dress and she wanted everybody to look at her and be like, oh my God, wow, you're so beautiful. And it's like, no, it's not about you. It was never about you.
And that equals they treat me badly.
I'm unwelcome.
Right. And so
and
I've got to tromp into the forest and contact their arch nemesis, Olivia.
Seriously.
And talk crap about the family.
It's just crazy. And then you're like talking shit to Amber, who doesn't want to hear it. And she's trying to tell you.
And she's 15, Beatrice.
Based.
She's 15 years old.
Yep.
And so for a 15-year-old girl, she's extremely intuitive, insightful. She sees exactly what Veronica is doing. She tries to, in the moment, combat what Veronica is saying, like, but she doesn't have the skills because she's 15 years old. But like, Veronica, in what world do you think it's okay for you to just emotionally, toxically dump all over this 15-year-old girl? She's not your therapist. She's not your best friend. She's a child, you weirdo.
Seriously. And then you want to say that she's gaslighting you and that everyone in the family is gaslighting you. And then you want to act like this in front of Micah's siblings, like while they're coming here just to visit. And you already are starting
to help you.
Yes.
To help you with your second home because you've got some sort of construction things that you need done. So they're here to actually put in some physical labor on your behalf. And this is what you're doing. This is what we're doing. So can we just sidebar? And can you tell me, Beatrice, what you think her agenda here is? Like, is she just mentally unwell, in your opinion? Like, she just can't help herself? She's just an unhinged parrot who just says all of the awful things that bounce around in her big head? Or is she acting? Is she trying to secure like the villain role on a show? Like, what do you think is happening?
I don't think she's acting. I think all of it comes from a genuine place, which is she is upset that Micah has cheated on her so prolifically. I think she is so hurt and so insecure because, again, like I had said, I think last week or the week before, this beautiful man who's probably out of her league. I'm just going to say that. I mean,
probably.
Like, it looks wise. Like, this beautiful man cheated on you so many times and that broke you. But instead of dealing with the root of that, you, as the emotionally unintelligent person in the room, you want to claim everyone else is emotionally unintelligent and immature. You're the one that's reacting from vitriol and anger because you're actually angry at Micah for cheating on you, which is fair and valid. But you're not going to articulate that. You're going to shit all over Mariah, who is just a troubled girl herself and obviously is very lost. And she apologized to you in a letter because she's like, actually afraid of you and afraid of confrontation, and you still are going to shit all over that and say that it wasn't a good enough apology. And isn't Mariah like older than her or like maybe around her same age?
I was thinking she was younger, but if she's not younger, then they're the same age. I don't think she's much older if at all.
She must be like a year or two younger than her, if anything. But it's like, you want to shit all over her. You want to shit all over Barry. You want to shit all over Kim, which is fine because Kim sucks. But like, you want to shit all over these people. Micah is trying to work out shit with you, but you are mad at him. And that's the root. And like, if you were able to actually articulate that and be like, you know what? You fundamentally broke me as a person because you cheated on me so much because I loved you and I wanted you to come move in with me. And I found out that you were sleeping with all of these other people. Like, I'm so hurt and offended. Like, you could have worked on that in your relationship, but no, you want to come for everybody else. And then you want to frame it like you're so emotionally mature and you're just like Olivia.
Oh,
You're just like Olivia. I was just ousted by the family just like Olivia. So therefore, all of my feelings are true and valid. That's what I think.
Yes, I think that has merit, your theory. And I've also read on Reddit that apparently around the time of the cheating and or around the time of the filming that we're watching in these scenes, that Veronica had a miscarriage with Micah. Have you seen that?
I've heard, I think she said that
right
in comments, but I don't know if we've seen it on TV yet.
Right. I know we haven't seen it on television, but like if we really want to go the extra mile and try to give her some grace. So like if in this moment her hormones are crazy because she's suffered that kind of a loss, which is tragic and terrible.
Of course.
In addition to having found out that Micah had cheated a while previous though. Like it had been months before that she found out about Micah. Like I can see how you would be emotionally dysregulated.
Sure.
But that doesn't give you the excuse to be abusive to anybody or to condescend to somebody and to make somebody feel stupid and dumb and low and less than you. Only super insecure people need to make other people feel as low as them because they don't know how to figure out for themselves how to make themselves feel better. So like, I mean, Veronica, if you're not in therapy, honey, you need to be in therapy. Like you need to be in immersive, intensive therapy for the way that you are conducting yourself. And furthermore, let's take some personal responsibility. The fact that Micah cheated on you is dog shit. And you shouldn't have to put up with that. And I dare say you should have dumped him, left him, sent him back home to Cairo. However, you made the conscious choice as an adult woman to stay with Micah and to work it out. And so if that is your intention, to stay with Micah and work it out, then that should be the spirit in which you conduct yourself with him. Not this punitive, looking for every single opportunity to not just put him down, but his entire family, which is probably the only other thing that he has in his life. Like you've made it your mission to damage all of that so that you can hurt him for the thing that he did to you that you chose to forgive.
Exactly.
If you can't forgive this man, if you can't move on in a healthy way, then you owe it not to him, but to yourself to walk away because you're becoming an abusive asshole.
Exactly.
And there's no excuse for it. There's no way that you can paint it. There's no amount of shit that Micah has done to you that excuses the shit that you're currently doing to him. And you're still acting out on social media because apparently, like when people are calling Veronica out on her Instagram in her comments, telling her about herself, like she will go to their profile, she will take pictures of them, and then she will post their pictures and make fun of them.
I've seen that. Yep. I've seen that on Instagram.
And you want to lecture people about emotional intelligence?
Give me a break.
Absolute nightmare of a person. We all see right through you. And that's got to be the scariest thing for you. Because you were trying to erect this illusion of who you were. You were trying to sell that to everybody on social media before the season began because you were so afraid that we were going to see exactly who it is that you are. I'm sorry it didn't work. We see you for who you are. And it's really troubling. And I'm an old enough person that I'm just not going to toss you out and say like you're a piece of trash and you deserve no forgiveness. No, I think you're a broken person.
Yep.
I think you're super problematic, honey. I think you need help. And I hope you have a family. Like, where are they? Who are they? At least we got to meet some of Olivia's family, but like, who's your family? Why aren't they being featured? Do you have any friends? I don't see anybody in your life other than the people in this show.
Yep.
And I worry about that for you. But at the same time, if you're not going to help yourself, then get fucked, Veronica.
Straight up. Like, you can't have it both ways. Like, you can't have this, like, I'm going to forgive Micah, but then I'm going to also shit all over him and his entire family every chance that I get and call him a spineless worm and get antagonistic with him and argue with him on national television. Like, you can't have it both ways. You either deal with it and you say, you know what, Micah, I can't get over the fact that you cheated on me. It really fucking hurts me. It breaks me to my core. I know you want to work on it with me, but like, I can't be with you because you cheated on me and I feel less than a person. We're going to break up. No, you want to be with him and then shit all over him because that makes you feel big.
And it's also not doing what you're hoping that it's going to do.
No.
Like, this man who cheated on you and who did you legitimately dirty is going to get sympathy from the audience because now you're abusing him.
Exactly.
And so it's like, it's just going to turn people against you.
Yeah, because your behavior is so shitty.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually unhinged.
It's abhorrent, honey.
It's crazy.
Gross.
And then we shift gears before we get to the actual conversation with Micah and Veronica. And we go back to the Plath family home where we have Mariah, her rando weird friend.
Sydney or something?
Something, I don't know. Forgettable character. And then we have Barry. And they're like in the kitchen playing Chubby Bunny. And I'm like, why are we watching this?
I think that the producers are attempting to show us a different version of Barry, which he ultimately ends up elaborating on because he wants somebody with humor, etc. But like a different version of Barry and where his headspace is in relation to his kids. Like he just wants to be there for his children. He wants to have fun. He wants to be accessible. He wants to be supportive. Now, do we agree with everything that Barry's doing? Not necessarily.
No.
But I mean, I thought this was awfully wholesome.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people hate Barry and I get it, but I was like, this is sweet actually. And I think also it's what Mariah needs in this moment.
Yes.
She's about to leave to go to Montana. She needs her dad to just love her and support her and send her off in a good way. I thought when they went to the bar after this scene, I thought it was kind of fun. And let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
And everybody else. And if you're on YouTube, drop in the comments, let me know. Did you feel a vibe a little bit between Barry and Sydney?
A little bit.
Was anybody...
It was really fucking weird.
Was anybody else picking up on that? Well, they just seemed to have like a great rapport. Sydney was very funny. Obviously, she's very young. Straight out of my smut novels with the age gap and the daddy kink and all that jazz. But I'm just saying, like, I was just feeling a little something and I was like, okay.
Yeah, it kind of felt like Mariah is so oblivious because all these kids are pretty naive to things like this. And Barry's also drinking his hard cider. Like, he's also just as oblivious, beep boop bop, you know. But I feel like Sydney was kind of flirting a little bit.
Was she? Was it just me? Kind of, right?
Look, your daughter and I were watching this, and she kept going on and on and on about how jacked and good looking Barry was looking. She's
my gosh.
He's so easy on the eyes. And I'm like, are we watching the same person? She's like, no, but like he's gotten so like handsome. He's jacked. Like I like his beard. She just kept going on and on and on about him. But I don't know. Maybe Sydney was like kind of crushing on Barry.
Maybe Barry was kind of feeling Sydney a little bit because, well, she's the exact opposite of Kim. She is funny. She's having, well, no, Kim does like to drink, doesn't she?
Yes.
But like she's fit. She's like all of these things that Kim is not. And I don't know. I was just like, in my mind, I was just like kind of fantasizing about it a little bit. I was just like, it's kind of cute. I don't know. It's kind of cute.
Gross.
Sorry.
Age gap. No. Ew.
Okay. All right. Well, Sydney looks older than Mariah. Like, she looks like she might be in her 30s.
She could still be his child, though.
That's okay, but like if he's in his 50s, I mean, it's not unheard of is all I'm saying, okay?
You've been reading too much smut.
I know, I have been. I do love an age gap.
But I did love when they were talking about dating a little bit at the bar, like when they were sending Mariah off to Montana. I loved how Barry made a point of saying, I'm not really interested in dating right now, but in the future, I would be looking for a woman with a great sense of humor and who is physically active. I was dying when I was watching that because we all know what that means.
Anybody but Kim.
Anybody who's thin and fit.
Can move. Well, she's a ballerina. She's a ballerina. I saw her kick up her leg on that bar. Like, she can move her body. So I'm sorry, pardon me, I apologize. But like somebody who has the same interest, wants to get in the gym, be a gym bunny. and whatnot.
Sure.
But I did receive that subtle shade from Barry. And
I love
also
it.
when they were in the kitchen eating all those marshmallows, how Mariah was talking about how all the kids were raised to not have any sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just creates this opening where we have to ask the question, though. Like, so if you couldn't eat sugar, and clearly you're all very thin and fit and all these things, like, what happened with Kim?
She was drinking a lot in the
Because
barn.
she was eating sugar.
She was eating sugar.
It was alcohol sugar. It was M&M sugar, but she was eating the sugar.
She definitely
Yeah.
was eating the sugar. And I mean, I think I said this last week, or I kept it to myself, I don't know, but I think that's why she was wearing those mini skirts. I think that's why she wears mini skirts, because she sees Barry and she's like, I feel like somewhere deep down within her, she's like, man, I fucked up.
Oh, yes.
And like, look, I will say this to the day I die. I know it's Barry. I know it's beep boop bop Barry. I can't imagine he is like great in bed. I can't imagine
you never
he
know.
is good at the cunnilingus. Maybe he is.
Sometimes those are the guys that are great at cunnilingus.
Maybe he is. I don't know. I get that like somebody wouldn't want to be married to him, but just judging by their divorce glow ups, Barry is looking great. Kim is looking busted.
Wow.
I'm sorry. We're all thinking it.
Yeah, and I don't think those short skirts are going to be calling him back into your orbit, Kim.
And it's kind of hard to escape that orbit.
Wow. No comment.
I'm sorry.
No comment.
We warned you at the beginning.
Yeah. Politically incorrect.
Goodness. All right, but then we go back to Boca, and this is where we have Micah and Veronica's really toxic ass fight. And I don't even really remember how it starts. I think it starts with like Micah saying he really wants to fix this. And I think the way that he's sitting and his body language is very earnest. Like, I don't think he's coming off aggressively.
No.
Remember, Micah is a Pisces. Like, I do think that he feels very deeply. I do think that he loves Veronica very much. And I think he wants this to work. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. But he really is coming into this conversation in earnest. And Veronica immediately is like, no, you don't want to fight for this. You want to fight me. And he's like, no, I fucking don't. Like, I care about you. I want to figure out a way where I can have a relationship with my family and still have a relationship with you. I want to work on this with you, but like, you're not really willing to. You want to see my family as completely evil, and I'm trying to tell you that their intentions are not as nefarious as you are making them out to be. And Veronica's like, no, you're just gaslighting me. And she's just so fucking aggressive.
Yeah, there's nothing that he can say that will penetrate her wall and what the agenda that I think she's trying to run. Because in this moment, I think that she's very aware of the cameras, and I think she's trying to embarrass him on camera. And I really just wished in that moment that Micah would have just said, okay, I'm just going to walk away. You don't seem interested in this conversation. You honestly don't seem interested in having a relationship with me where there's a meeting of the minds. So I'm just going to get up and go hang out with my family and just leave you here, you poisonous, toxic snake. But he didn't. And again, I just want to draw attention to his body language, the fact that he looks like he's losing weight, the fact that his energy is kind of just shrinking in on itself. It feels to me like he's had these types of conversations quite a lot. And later in this episode, when he's talking to Amber and Ethan and Veronica is not there, she's like, it's great when it's just me and Veronica. But as soon as any of my family come around, this is what I have to deal with. And he doesn't know what to do. And I thought it was ironic that she's accusing him of being this emotional dunce, this stupid person who doesn't know how to navigate relationships, while she's actively being verbally abusive to him. And he is being so self-disciplined, because I would have beat her ass. I would have beat her fucking ass in that moment, hoodie. I'd have been like, okay, so we're fighting? Okay. Yeah. And I hopped up, took my earrings off, and we'd be doing that thing, okay? But he didn't. He restrained himself. He was very careful with his words.
He really was.
He did not insult in kind. Like, he was so emotionally intelligent.
He was.
Like, and she was not. She was absolutely the opposite of that. And I'm just like, Veronica.
And I feel like Micah this entire time has been really trying to see her side in all of it. And he even says something to that effect. Like, he's like, I always take her side. I really am trying to advocate for her, but it's getting harder and harder to do that every day because her issues become more and more complex and they become more and more insane and irrational because because it's just coming from like just this place of unresolved anger. And Veronica even says something like, this has been brewing and brewing for months, and the proposal was just the straw that broke the camel's back. But I'm just like, again, the proposal was not about you. It was not a family intervention. Nobody's supposed to go over there and like talk to you at Lydia's proposal and hash out issues. Like, this is a day for Lydia. It's not a day for you and your bitch ass.
Well,
I'm
she's
just
got
so frustrated.
Narcissism happening. I don't know if there's an intersection, and I'm straight up being an armchair diagnostician, but like, is there an intersection between like BPD and NPD? Like, is there a world where, you know, she regards every event as needing to be about her and having light shed upon her, but at the same time cannot control herself and needs to also abuse people in that moment? I don't know. I'm not saying she's these things. I'm just saying there's something so very, in my opinion, so very mentally wrong with her that she couldn't see herself in this moment. Because I've been in arguments with my husband and I've seen myself and felt myself losing my mind.
Oh yeah.
And like being an absolute fucking asshole.
Yeah.
I remember early on in our relationship, I was popping off about some shit and I was totally unregulated. And he just stood in the doorway and he laughed at me. He's like, do you hear yourself? I'm just wondering if you can hear the things that you're actually saying right now. But like, having the ability to be able to be aware of yourself and the things that you're saying in a moment is a skill that we develop as we age. But like, I notice Micah has the skill.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting that he lacked a lot in his life, but he had a lot in his life too that equipped him to be able to deal with her in this moment. And then it made me ask the question, well, Veronica, what didn't you have in your life that gives you this perceived permission for you to abuse somebody like the way that you're abusing them?
Right. It's really crazy. Like, just watching her talk to him. And then she comes out with, I've been talking to Olivia for months. And she says this in a way like she's got him.
Yeah.
And it's like, we as
gotcha.
the viewers are like, you're stupid. Because she's like, I've been talking to Olivia for months. I know everything. I know everything that's happened in the family. And so therefore, I'm completely right in my feelings. Because she, in this moment, and still to this day, thinks that she is on the same level as Olivia. And she thinks that she has been wronged just like Olivia, that she has been unwelcomed just like Olivia. And like, look, you guys can listen to our older podcast where we rip Olivia to shreds and we analyze her behavior in all of the prior seasons and everything. And you give her a lot of grace. I'm very hard on her. But like, we analyze all of that. Veronica, you're not in the same boat.
Veronica, you are no Olivia. Like, at least Olivia, as we discussed last week, was in process trying to figure herself out. She was in the process of deconstructing, finding herself. And there was a lot that went into that. And also in many instances, she handled herself with grace. Not always, believe me. But she was able to, I just think she conducted herself with so much more maturity. And I don't believe Veronica when she says that she's been talking to Olivia for months. I think Veronica has probably talked to her twice.
Yeah.
The first time when she called her when she was in her home and we saw it. The second time was at the engagement. I don't think they're talking to each other every week and kikiing like girlfriends, because I don't think Olivia would hang out with somebody like Veronica. I think Olivia's moving on.
Yep.
I think Olivia's got her life. She's got her business. She's got her aspirations. She doesn't have time for a vindictive person, small-minded person like Veronica.
And like I've said before in prior recaps, I think with Olivia, it comes from a genuine place of trauma. Like, her family, I think, was very abusive. And I think she was traumatized by her family. And I think that she views the Plaths in the same light that she views her own family, because they all came from fundamentalist religions. And therefore, she had a lot of hatred and a lot of anger towards the Plaths, that maybe some of it was warranted, but maybe some of it came from her own family and her own shit and her own deconstructing. But like you said, she got out of it. She's traveling and going to Croatia and bathing in beautiful, clear Mediterranean waters and not giving a fuck. I mean, she posts a little bit here and there of like spilling the tea about the Plaths because she still
Now she has to deconstruct from that.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Veronica is just unhinged and crazy. And so, my
in
girl,
our opinion,
you think you're dropping a bomb on Micah. You think that you've got him in the corner. Like, I know everything.
it's just another way for her to hurt Micah.
Yes.
Because she knows that that's going to explode like a bomb with Ethan and Barry and the rest of the family. And she just wants to hurt people.
Yep.
And why do you want to hurt people so much? Hurt people. And so I really wonder what the story is of Veronica. Like, if we could learn with some vulnerability on her part, like what she has been through that would cause her to act this way.
Right. Because maybe we would have a little bit more compassion. But right now,
no,
you a crazy ass
F
bitch.
You, Veronica.
And she says something like at the end of it, you know, I think I'm going to leave and I'm going to go to the other house that we have and I'm just going to like find myself. And I'm just like, okay, bye.
Yeah, see ya. I wish you would.
God, get out of here. Pack up all your shit.
Sucking the air in the room. God.
Straight up. And then we get to the end of the episode where we have the Plaths, like we have Ethan, Amber, and Micah like helping building a fence in the backyard.
My God, they're all so beautiful.
Oh my God.
Amber is so beautiful. Like in the shots of her speaking with Veronica when they pan to Amber, like in a ray of sunlight, I'm just like,
I know.
You are an angel. You are beatific. You are so beautiful. And you know what? She's confident.
She is.
She's secure in herself.
She's cool.
She's very cool. She's the coolest.
Definitely.
Maybe Isaac is on par in terms of coolness, but like Amber is the cool one, and she's
very
just so beautiful, and she loves her family.
I know.
And I want to preserve that for her. Even though the Plaths have their problems, I want to preserve like a happy family for Amber and the Littles.
And like I've had a therapist tell me before, every single family has their problems. Every single family has some level of like dysfunction and is not perfect, but that's what family is. And it's about like learning how to deal with everybody. And I think Amber was saying something in her talking head about Veronica, about how she doesn't understand what it's like to be in such a large family. Like, not everybody talks to each other every single day. Everybody has different levels of relationships with each other because you have such a large family. And like with the Plath specifically, Amber says, as a 15-year-old, she's awake, dude. She's like, our family is a bunch of thinkers, not feelers. Like we're not always expressive, but that doesn't mean that we hate you or that like we're angry. Like we're just beep boop bops. We come from beep boop bop Barry, who's not very emotionally expressive.
B3PO.
Yes, 100%. And then Kim fucking Plath, who's a whole nutcase herself. You know, they're not perfect, but they're not these like evil people that Veronica's trying to paint them as. And so while the Plaths are building the fence for Veronica's bitch ass, who's just in her house with her dogs, stewing and getting mad, apparently Micah starts talking to Ethan about how Veronica, ever since their fight, has been chewing him out nonstop, probably texting him like an insane person. It got so tense in the house that Ethan and Amber had to go get a freaking hotel because Veronica is so unhinged that they don't want to be around her. And Micah starts opening up about his relationship, about how, you know, every time we have a fight, Veronica threatens to leave, which is emotionally manipulative and abusive to do to people. Like, just fucking leave if you're going to threaten it so much. Like, geez. And I think Micah tells Ethan that Veronica has been talking to Olivia, and you can see how this makes Ethan mad.
Oh man, the way his face just fell and the expression of abject anger, and also like the veils falling away, because I think for whatever reason up until this moment, he's been trying hard to give Veronica the benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
Like, I think he's been trying to be very graceful with her and for her, but in this moment, when the ghost of Olivia is invoked, he's just like, oh, hell no. It is on.
Yeah.
You know, then we get to the preview and like we see like how he starts to regard Veronica, but like he's totally taken by surprise.
Yeah, and I think he says something to the effect like that sealed the deal for him with Veronica. He's like, okay, I know she's been tainted by the demon that is Olivia, is what he's basically saying. And then Micah starts saying something like Veronica calls him a spineless worm, and she probably calls him some other really heinous shit. I mean, this is the kind of shit that you don't say to somebody that you claim to love and you claim to
No.
have forgiven.
And I thought it was weird that Ethan really didn't flinch at that.
I know.
When Micah said that Veronica called him that, Ethan just kind of took that in stride. It wasn't until he learned that Olivia was involved that he stopped what he was doing and like looked at Micah. But I'm just like, that's interesting. It makes me wonder if you've heard some of that type of invective and rhetoric in your previous relationships, not necessarily just with Olivia, but like in your childhood, in your family. Like if this is something maybe you all have some familiarity with, but it didn't seem to surprise him.
No, it didn't, which is really interesting. That change in his affect between the spineless worm and then the Olivia thing was very, very interesting.
Because if you told me that my daughter called you a spineless worm or vice versa, I would be like, hold up.
The fuck?
Let's stop right now. Let's sit down and let's have a conversation because we don't do that. That is not okay. And this needs to stop. And I want to help you guys to get the help you need.
Yep.
Like I would like immediately call an emergency meeting or whatever.
Yeah.
Like for Ethan to just keep it moving, I'm just like, what's going on?
That's very odd, right? And then Micah asks something very interesting that I thought, where he says, you know, do we really make people feel this way? Like, is our family really this fucked up that we make people feel this way? And I thought that that was a very interesting thing for somebody who's so emotionally unintelligent to ask, because if you're so emotionally unintelligent, you wouldn't be aware of how you or your family make other people feel. But the fact that Micah is reflecting on that and is wondering, like, are we really this terrible? And Ethan says no, because Tegan gets along great with our family. Kaylin, who's Isaac's honey pop, is getting along just fine. Like, these people are fine with our family and they enjoy our family and love our family and our family loves them. So it's these other problem bitches that have come in that are having issues. And I wonder what other viewers make of that question, because there's a lot of people that really hate the Plaths, like hate the Plaths and think that they're all terrible people. And like, we come for everybody in this show, like nobody's free of criticism. But I just wonder if people are kind of reflecting on their own perceptions of this family, because I don't think that they're all terrible. I think they all have their issues, but I don't think that they're evil.
Oh, I definitely don't think that most of them are evil. I think the most problematic, troublesome Plath is Kim.
Definitely.
And I think Olivia had experiences with Kim that were very bad. And I actually think it's in such poor taste for Veronica to leverage Olivia's legitimate experience with the family, and i.e. specifically with Kim, for herself, as if like weaponizing Olivia's lived experience to validate her campaign of abuse against Micah. Like, no, you're not Olivia. You haven't been around as long as Olivia's been around. You haven't experienced anything that she has. You have not integrated yourself into this family the way that Olivia has. So like, don't use her experience to justify your really bad behavior. But that's what abusers do.
Definitely. And Ethan and Micah both point that out. They both say something to the effect of, Veronica's just looking for validation. She's just looking for somebody to tell her that her feelings are 100% right, because
all the time
they're crazy. And Micah says something very emotionally intelligent, where he says, I think Veronica is wrong a lot of the time and she doesn't like to be wrong, and so she's looking for people to tell her that she's right. And so she's going to people like Olivia and to people on the internet and Reddit and saying all this shit so that way she can have people tell her, like, yes, queen, slay, you're doing so great. And there's nothing that is wrong about your behavior or your feelings because we believe you. And now it's starting to come out and come to light that Veronica's crazy.
Well, and it begs the question, okay, well, now that you don't have the support of your ex-boyfriend, his family, and the audience and Reddit and Instagram anymore, how are you? Like, what's going on in your mental state, in your interior world? Because you really seemed desperate for that validation. And Micah and Ethan are right. In these moments, you're desperate for validation. Like, how are you right now? I think she is flailing. I think she's going on the offense because she feels really defensive about her bad behavior, but I just wonder where that's going to lead her. And when we get into the preview, when the whole family like sits around and confronts her, you can kind of see her face. Like, she looks like she's about to cry and or is crying, like she's being confronted with the totality of her bad behavior. And I'm very curious to see how she handles that moment, because it is also happening in real time, August of 2025. She's being confronted by her bad behavior by us.
Yep.
So how is she going to handle that?
Oh my God, she's going to crumble. And I feel like she will lean farther into her behavior, because I think she's got an ego on her, and I think she doesn't want to be wrong, because it takes a lot to admit that, like, okay, I fucked up, you know? And if she was so emotionally intelligent, she would be able to do that, and she would be able to reflect and be like, you know what? Yeah, I showed my ass on national TV. I really shouldn't have called Micah all of these names. I was being a total fucking raging bitch, and I didn't know how to chill out. But no, like, you went on Reddit before the season dropped. You spilled all of this shit, like this crazy stuff. Ethan trying to burn Zach alive in a hate crime.
Which was a lie.
Which was a fucking lie. But people are trying to say that maybe that wasn't the real fire. Maybe there's a further fire.
I think that's what she was referring to. But
I
also,
think so too.
Micah almost had his nose detached from his face.
Right.
And then we see it's like a couple of stitches.
Right.
So Amber's 100% correct when she's like, you like escalate things and you're irrational, which is what the word that Amber actually used, which is accurate. You're irrational and you're constantly escalating to the next thing.
And I think Micah even said something like that. Like, I think he said, I think when you have an opinion and you keep believing that opinion over and over and over again, it becomes hardwired in your brain. And so therefore you believe it to be true. And that's what he's saying with Veronica. Like, she has concocted this story and this perception of the Plaths and this perception of Barry and Mariah and everybody, making her feel unwelcomed. And she has just repeated it over and over and over again.
She's created a neural pathway.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. And unless you take a humble pill and realize I was wrong.
She's not there, dude. There are some behaviors that are like indicative of unregulated, unmedicated, or untherapized personality disorders. And I do personally think we're seeing some of that in Veronica. Like, when I say I think she needs help,
she does, dude.
I think she needs like real intensive help, because if she doesn't, she's not just going to continue to hurt other people with her viper's tongue and her actions. She's also going to continue to hurt herself. She's going to be alone. She's not going to be able to be in healthy relationships where there's a healthy give and take and like an understanding between two people. She's not capable of it at this level, at least based on what we are seeing.
No, I agree 100%. And in the preview, we also have Lydia trying on dresses.
Yeah, she looks beautiful.
She looks gorgeous. We have Amber saying that it's a little rushed, but she's happy.
Fair.
And then we have Barry saying he's got the drip. I love Barry using 2025 Gen Z
and drip
terms. It's so fucking funny to me.
Oh,
it's
God.
So stupid. Oh, God. For real. And then we have Kim trashing Barry because she can't stand the fact that Barry is winning from this divorce. Like, she cannot handle it. But
she can't.
Kim is mad that Barry is trying to act like the fun, loving, exciting parent, the Disney dad, and he doesn't want to be mean and ask questions, which, I mean, fair a little bit. I've been saying that too. Like, I don't like the fact that he's just like gung-ho telling Lydia to have babies.
Kim is not the messenger.
No.
The woman who's had like an adulterous affair and a DUI where she wrapped her car around a tree is not the one to be complaining about Barry's positivity and his happy life. Like, maybe if Micah and Isaac and Ethan want to talk about like what they wish their dad would do in this situation, like that would be a little bit more legitimate. Fair, but like Kim, shut the hell up.
I know. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you interrogating Zach? No, you're also supporting it. But there is a scene in the preview where she says something like, we all feel very pressured to accept somebody that we don't know. And this is what I was trying to get at last week, that it's like, you know, it's a little hard to accept somebody that just came into Lydia's life within 4 months. They've only spent like a week together. They were mainly long distance before getting married.
Girl, I accepted you. I was watching movies with you. I was inviting you over. I was enjoying your company. Yeah, but it was quick, honey.
Yeah, sure.
It was real quick.
But I got to know you. We didn't get married until after 9 months. Thank you.
Oh, my bad.
So
my bad.
Thank you.
But I'm just saying, like, yeah, I understand it's an adjustment, but like, then don't make it. If you don't want to make it, then don't. If you do want to make it, then show up and be a part of it. Like, just shut up.
Yeah, no, right.
Ethan throwing the tables at the wedding or whatever. I'm like, okay, come on, people. If you don't want to be there, if you don't support it, then just don't ruin it for other people.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm very, like, it seems like we're leading up to the wedding. I don't know if that's going to be like the season finale, or if we're going to get to it like in 2 weeks or next week. I want to get to it so bad. The sooner the better. I want to get to it so bad because we have like Lydia and Zach saying that their wedding was peaceful. I don't know if that's like edited. I think they were
being sarcastic.
I would hope so because I'm like...
there was a violent assault.
There was a fight.
Everybody was drunk. Give me one margarita. They were having fun.
Unless the fight happened after they left and it was just a weird party thing and everybody was drunk and getting crazy. But I just want to see that wedding so bad.
We're not going to see it because the way that Micah refers to it in the talking head in the preview is like, yeah, well, there was a problem at the wedding. So he's kind of summarizing what happened as opposed to like clips of the wedding or anything else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but we were seeing like Tegan and Ethan showing up at the wedding and Veronica saying she didn't want to sit next to Ethan and Tegan at the wedding. And so maybe we're going to see some of that.
But in terms of the violence, the violence.
But that's what I want to see.
I want to see the violence. I want to see the fight.
So
I want to know what drives my sweet baby Isaac
to
punch his brother's lights out.
I know.
And then I want to see him do it. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible raccoon. I'm in a dumpster, baby. I'm eating trash.
Shit. Man, I just want to see it all.
Yes. And is there anything else?
That's pretty much it.
Well, we are actually going to be going over the mid-season trailer on our Patreon, and we're going to just be talking mad shit. And we're also going to be looking at the upcoming Sister Wives new season. They dropped a trailer. There's a lot going on, and we're going to talk about that. But again, only on Patreon.
Yeah.
So make sure you join us if you can. Now, Beatrice, is there anything else that we need to say to these beautiful raccoons before we get up on out of here?
Well, if you love our podcast, please go to your favorite podcast platform and leave us a glowing 5-star review. Really helps more raccoons join us in the dumpster so we can maybe get to 6,000 subscribers one day. That's all I want.
Oh my God, that would be so great. I'm praying for the day.
I pray.
We're going to be back next week to talk Sister Wives and more Plathville. We've got a lot coming up for fall 2025. Make sure you come back for that. But until then, please do not forget that we have nothing but love for you and peace out.
Bye.
Bye, guys.